Hey guys, it's your old pal Brian. It's holy crap, my blood pressure is nice and low. It's the 27th at I don't know what time of day.
Throttle active.
But it's before 8. Man, what a great day yesterday. My wifey wanted to come and visit her distant cousins on this trip. Generally,
8.3 volts.
in previous years, what we did was visited her first cousin, and no more lovely group of people would you meet. They're just fantastic, and we had a blast. So a few years later, my wife wanted to go see her second cousins, or her cousins from her father's side. I don't know how that crap works. I'm a goof. So, they're just lovely. They're all in their 70s and 80s and 90s. So we met the 2 female and 1 male cousins from this one family yesterday, and man, just cool as all get out. Just had a blast. We went to the nursing home and met with the mother, who's 98, and this is so beautifully poignant. She literally said, you know, I'm ready to go. One of those folks whose mind is just completely like a sharp as a tack, but unfortunately the bodies just give way. You know, it's a 100-year-old body. What a neat lady, though. Can understand her. She makes all the sense in the world, and you know, almost like Stephen Hawking. You know, she's just trapped in an old body and just ready to go. And there's almost a beauty to that. The other folks are in, you know, relative stages of decay. One lady's having arterial sclerosis, and it's given her the symptoms of of like Alzheimer's, light symptoms of Alzheimer's. But you know, they're all in great spirits. They're particularly religious, and they all say the same thing. We're ready to go when it's time, and while we're waiting, we're going to have an enjoyable time here on this earth. It's just lovely. So that was just beautiful yesterday, and it was yeah, it's nice to see these people before they pass. We'll probably never see them again. Distant cousins. Huey. I could not move that bitch fast enough. What else? Been watching y'all out there on the web forum. Spring must be coming because people are actually out doing stuff. I was pleased to see. I would be flying one, I think I mentioned this yesterday, I would be flying one of my water planes out here if I knew I could come and get it, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like they rent, you know, because that's a liability. Doesn't look like they rent canoes here, and you got to plan for losing your gear. You know, this thing will just sink to the bottom, but you know, the puddle star will float helplessly. So, and besides, you know, we're just, you know, our prime mission is to go visit relatives, and we're here 5 days, so that makes it really 3 working days. So you get here and you're wore out. You then have 3 functional days, and then the last day you leave. So we're Now you see why I'm so excited about this stuff. Not only is it cool, but it's quiet, relatively speaking. You can fly these things at any RV park because you don't need a space like that body of water behind me or a field. You just fly.
7.7 volts.
And that's what got me started in the hobby with the Blade CX2. I could walk out in my front yard, very family oriented. I don't want to leave my family. And in fact, AMRC, it won't come out right in prose, me explaining what you're fixing to go through with your little boy. But I think it'll come out pretty good here. And if you're ready, I'm going to share it with you. When I had my son, all other considerations were secondary. It really was. I was lucky I had a career that was not only my job, but it was my hobby. So I could enjoy not only my job and make money, but I could quite easily enjoy, be sated by my job being my hobby, and I didn't have to worry about taking time away from my family. Because the only thing that mattered, frankly, and even now, is my kid. And by the way, God shined on him yesterday. He got rear-ended on his motorcycle, and he said it flung him off, and he landed on his feet. Landed. He was not injured. Motorcycle was. And that's all bad. But yeah, I'm so pleased that he didn't get himself killed yesterday. But yeah, the way I figured it was is I'd have plenty of time. So here's how it works. Your first 20 years, you're a kid on this earth. Your second 20 years, you're a young adult. That's 20 to 40. 40 to 60, you're middle-aged. Yes, you are. And 60 to 80, they call them the golden years. They're not golden years. They're the years of uncertainty, the years of cancer. So you have basically, actually your generation has an extra 20 years. So you'll live, 80 to 90 like this lady in the nursing home, but hopefully in better repair due to, modern science and food and nutrition. So to repeat, first 20 years, you're a kid. Second 20 years, you're a young adult, 20 to 40. 40 to 60, middle age. 60 to 80, golden years. No, years of uncertainty. If you get to live 60 on, and you didn't contract some heinous disease, then you get to enjoy your life a bit. But you always have that hanging over your shoulder that cancer's on its way. It's the truth. 60 to 80 or 80 to 100, you're definitely, if you're a male, all males, this is a wonderful statistic because it's irrefutable, all males by age 80-ish will have some form or fashion of prostate cancer. Benign, perhaps, but many times it's not. And eventually you're going to have to deal with cancer. No ifs, ands, or, if you'll pardon the pun, buts. So back to your kid. Enjoy the time that you have with them because it's going to go away very quickly. I want you to picture this concept in your mind. When I was 7 years old, or my son was 7 years old, a year was 700 days long. When he was 17, a year was a year. When he was 25, a year was 250 days. He's 36 years old. The year is about 200 days long. Get it? That's the sliding scale on how the universe works. You won't find this in Reader's Digest. You're not going to find this in Polite Company. You're not going to find it in the Bible. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. So I know you want time to yourself, and I know you need time to yourself. But the reality is that your kid needs you more than anything. You're going to be his guiding light. I want you to relish those times. God didn't give me great beauty or wealth, but He gave me an unbelievable memory, tremendous judgment, and I remember each and every moment that I had with my kid. I savored every moment of it because my thought process was simple. He'll be out of there about the time they get their driver's license, and that's only going to be about less than 10 years away for you, AMRC. By the time he gets his driver's license, he's not going to want to be around you anymore. In fact, about 13, 14, they typically don't want to. So spend every minute you can with your rotten kid. Spoil them. enjoy their company, point them in the right direction. You'll have plenty of time to yourself. You will, I assure you. I've already been through all this. But if you follow my lead and just raise your kid and steal away moments when you can for yourself, I got to be honest with you, I can do anything I want now as long as I want. I can buy anything I want. Now, deferred gratitude is really kind of cool because what it does is it helps you appreciate what you've got. If you got everything you want, let's say you had a nanny and you're like, well, take care of Junior, I'm going to run on out here and fly my Worthy gig, you wouldn't appreciate it as much. Stealing away time through deferred gratitude, that's the beauty of life. I've got friends of mine right now who bought everything they want and they have all the time in the world, and unfortunately they're a tad bored. You know, not being able to do everything you want all the time is actually good for you. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Okay, well, that's my god-awful piffle for the day. The weather that's coming isn't going to be Armageddon. We're real happy about that. I've gone through my rig and picked some smalls out that I need to get done. These are called, can you see where the American flag is? And go all the way up, you'll see that black fabric up there. That's called a slide topper. That keeps debris and other stuff landing on your slide, so when you slide it in, you don't drag in leaves and crickets and whatever else hides up there. Well, right there where it meets the rig, can you see that? It tore, and it's just going to continue to tore. Well, it's held in there by a spline and a tube, kind of like how your screen is. I was able to go ahead and pull the broken spline out, wrap the fabric around it, and then send a screw through it, so that stops that from happening. What else I do? See these black panels on the bottom? Found one yesterday next to the stairs, broken off. Fixed that. Just a bunch of other great small stuff. You know, these things they're taking an earthquake about 1,000 times a day when you're driving up and down the highway, and stuff shakes and rattles loose. And my job is to keep that in check. And man, she's looking good. 8 years old. I think I told the story, guys, but I'll tell it again because you're not dumb enough to shut this thing off. But a cop and a nurse had enough money for a home in the mountains, a home in Florida, or a Mac Daddy ass RV. But that cop and nurse didn't have money for both, or all three. So I anguished because I almost bought a home in North Carolina, and then through some happenstance I was able to talk to a lady who, much like I'm sharing my knowledge of my past with you, did the same with me. They bought a home up in North Carolina and never used it, but they bought one of these and they were able to take this to North Carolina, to Washington State, to Nova Scotia. You know, her rationale, she helped point me in the right direction and helped my mind get right. I bought this and didn't buy a home in North Carolina, but I have a home in North Carolina every fall for 6 weeks. This, yeah. Okay, that's enough prattle. All right, guys. I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow or not on video, but see ya. What? 2 blathers in one? Why not? So, what am I doing today? It's going to be our free day. My wife was able to, we don't run wide open. And my wife was going to give us a free day where we didn't have to do anything but read scripture and hang around the rig. Dale knows what I mean about reading scripture. Actually, that'll happen, but it's going to happen after lunch. My long time so I had a friend of mine, and when I hired on the Everglades in 1988, his name was Tom Quinn. He was a wildlife inspector, a lieutenant with us, and just one of the most lovely human beings you'll ever have the occasion to meet in your life. Just one of those pivotal people. Got cancer about, I don't know, 15 years into my career, and he had throat cancer, and it eventually killed the hell out of him. Well, his wife was a great friend of ours, and she's still alive, and she lives up here, no longer in Central Florida. She went back home with her family, you know, where she could be with her family. And remarried, and just is living her best life as she can. You know, her number one love passed away, and it just devastated her. And it's not that joyful for me either. Lovely human being. Anywho, we're close enough to where we could go visit with her. So we're going to visit with her this morning, and come on back home for lunch, and see if we can while away the day in an old-fashioned way. I think Renfield gets that reference. Fritter and waste the hours in an offhand way. Tomorrow, Friday, we go visit other distant relatives of my wife's, and then that brings us into leaving the next day, Saturday morning. Weather's going to start to decay, but not bad. We have a 300-mile journey ahead of us. Ox, you know him on RCG as Ox. His name's Chuck. He is aware that we're coming up. Last he and I spoke via text, he mentioned that he had a model rocketry club that he had to end up doing judging for. Unfortunately, the weather's going to be bad, so I don't think I'm going to get to see Ox camping with us or managing his club. I love the guy, and I hope you hear this. He won't. He's the absent-minded professor, though, so if you don't kind of keep on him about what's going on, it's not whatever it is not going to happen. He's very forgetful. So I'll send him a note and let him know that we're camping about an hour from where he's at, and we'll link up with his lovely wife, him and his lovely wife, Christy. It's fun watching people on the web forums discussing this thing. They're just beside themselves. They're looking for some high performance machine and I'm not kidding you, $47, and it just causes them agita that they don't have, that something ain't working right. And what's funny is they're really not troubleshooting it either. You know, this thing has really some neat troubleshooting functions. When I burnt this one up and rebuilt it, I had to use those same functions to get the blades right. You know, the difference between the blades biting and not is just a piece of a degree, you know? So you gotta kind of take some responsibility on yourself, in that if you're used to things coming to you perfectly, then you may not want to buy these Chinese solutions. But if you're a hobbyist and you don't mind just, you know, screwing with the things a bit, then you're going to have a better outcome. It's going to take 30 minutes to load this piffle, and gosh, I hope everything's going on good in your worlds. AMRC, it's just been great getting to know you, and I hope you take my unsolicited advice in the manner it's meant, and that's to give you some relief, and also maybe put a little heat on you. In that, man, those moments with your child. Now, I even go further. You can build a pyramid with your name on the side, and it's eventually going to crumble. But when you propagate the species in the form of a progeny, a child, you achieve immortality. And what I mean by that is that elements of you continue to live on. I think some of the funniest stuff I've ever seen is my kid emulating me. I never really realized what a tool I can be until my kid started sounding like me. It's funny. $47 to the door. And you can put it on a premium radio. What? This hobby, you get so much value. Then on top of that, you make these amazing friends. And if you're lucky enough, you get to meet some of them. Yeah, I think when I hang up with you guys here, I'm probably going to go ahead and get a hold of, or send a text to my buddy Ox and see if he's interested in, well, he will, linking up. Just isn't going to be camping with me. My buddy has made arrangements already to do such, so that's going to be pretty cool. See how quiet they are, relatively speaking. The loudest one's the MD500. That damn thing, I think it was George who called it a coffee grinder. Shout outs here at the end. The Rowdies. I think about y'all often. I thought about you yesterday when I visited my friends and my friend in the old folks home. I am pleased to hang out with Dale. He's doing great. Oh, I hate that shite. This is how you tear up an airplane. See what we're going to do. We're going to land it right, yeah, that's my only complaint. You don't have as much control as you might think you should.
Throttle active.
Yeah. This thing's made for beginners, and when they down, they down attenuate it, what ends up happening is it makes it tough on people like me that, frankly, notwithstanding my sea wind. Oh, by the way, congratulations on the sea wind there, Captain Crunch. I was so pleased to see that thing turn out good. I needed that. All right. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the interwebs.